Hello, this is Double Exposure. I am Riyad and this is Omar. And in this episode, we will have a discussion about Cowboy Bebop, a newly released Netflix TV show, which is an adaptation of a very popular 90s anime.
This adaptation was marketed as sort of a direct adaptation of the anime, with even the title screen, the opening was like a direct copy of the anime.
Shot by shot.
Yeah, but if we examine it as an adaptation, it is quite unsuccessful actually. But if not, it's mediocre.
Yeah, what is bugging me is that, as you said, it was marketed as an adaptation, but as soon as the second episode is started, we are introduced to a lot of different plot points.
Which were not in the anime.
Yeah, they were changed drastically. And for example, the whole anime is known as a mix of genres, usually jazz with cowboys. And here, actually, from the posters, we got the idea of this film.
Yeah, inspirations were mostly drawn from exploitation films.
Yeah, like if you Google up and look at the yellow poster that they posted it everywhere in Netflix and in Instagram and all the social medias, as if like they were inspired by the blaxploitation films, not the original films, and
like westerns or like samurai films.
yeah, but other than that, they had the original soundtrack. They brought composer.
The soundtrack is mostly intact.
Yeah, they brought original composer too, which also used some of the original tracks that she created for this TV show, and they also actually reused some of the popular tracks from the TV show itself. But besides that, what they also tried to capture is the costumes of this TV of this anime in this TV show, and somewhat they were kind of successful in doing that. Like main character Spike and Jet Black's costumes were shot by shot. They 1-to-1 were looked great. Only Faye Valentine's were a little bit different, but according to the actors, they did it in the sense that to make the stunts much more easier for her to do. But I will say that even though they tried to do 1-to-1, the costumes, we could summarize it as hit and miss, because even though just having the costumes and having the art direction 1-to-1 to the anime, it doesn't work as a adaptation of this film.
I don't know what they hope to achieve with that, because anime normally doesn't translate that well into like TV show format, in the sense that some movements and some shots that were like they at least, let's give them props that they tried to like directly
Adapt some
of the shots and scenes, but they ended up looking kind of goofy and like wonky.
Out of place.
Yeah, out of place, because it both tries to be something like original and an adaptation. If it could only pick one lane and go with it, I think it would have been a much better product.
What you said about the shots, I think they kind of are inconsistent, don't you think? Because in some shots they looked really great. Like it looked as if like it's not from a general Netflix show. It looked like from a standpoint of a feature film.
I mean, this inconsistency also is seen in writing and the CGI, because sometimes the like banter between the characters, the more they talk, the quality just plummets. And sometimes the CGI is nice, mostly at night time, because it's easier to do CGI at night time. But sometimes the what's the main CGI thing we see? Spike's ship, Swordfish.
Yeah, Swordfish, the red one.
When in the night, like in the day scenes, there is no like reflection on it. It's just very matte looking.
And that's the thing. We don't see a lot of his ship. We see only Bebop itself.
Yeah, normally in the anime he uses that to traverse the city.
And we also in the anime we had a couple of space battles. In this TV show we didn't have any. It's as if like they thought that the CGI won't look that good, so they kind of limit it.
And one of the things that's missing is the like melancholic theme of the anime, because each episode, as you might have guessed from the names, they're not named as episodes; they're named as sessions,
Yeah.
because the anime has like a distinct style of being like a jazz, how to say it, like a jazz session, let's say. And the melancholy came from it being like a musical score. It has having its crescendos and having its silent moments. The show, because it didn't take the like direct
Approach,
direct
approach,
approach.
yeah.
It was. Sometimes it had that, but mostly, yeah, the melancholic theme was lost.
I think
Because the characters were constantly bantering.
yeah. Like what was lost there that I remember you said to me, like, do you remember how the original anime, like all those 26 episodes, they give the idea of an improvisation done by a jazz musician. Like it was like a session of 26 minutes long that told a small story to itself that added to big picture. Here it didn't felt like that, because
the scenes were never like given enough time to just sit and to give the audience time to just process what they
to sink in what just happened. Like I really missed the silent scenes from the anime. Like here we didn't have those scenes when one of the characters was just sitting smoking a cigarette and we hear one of the jazz composed soundtracks. Here we only had one similar moment to that when Spike hits his shelf and it breaks and he takes up the picture of his love interest, and it just stays for 5 seconds and then
again in the
it.
first 2 episodes they were more similar with the anime, with Spike
Somewhat,
having
yeah.
like flashback
Flashbacks,
visions to what happened in his past, but then I don't know why they chose to go with that. He breaks off a shelf and the picture of Julia and him like comes out and he examines that.
And like as you said, in Spike's character's case, they kind of in this TV show it has been changed that his mystery doesn't stay as a mystery.
I mean, not just his mystery, but in the anime, Spike was like he was played like I would have preferred if he was played by a younger actor, because Spike is 27 in the anime, I believe, but John Cho is 50.
Yeah, he was 50 when the TV show has been finished, so he is 50.
Yeah. Spike's character was like a young, brash, aggressive, and he was like a sad character also. But in here they only like developed that part of him, that sad part of him. He's mostly like speaking in hushed tones, and I don't know. He came off to me as more of a not I don't want to say one-dimensional, because he does get a little bit of development near the end of the series, but he's, let's say, two-dimensional character.
Let me say this. I think that this TV show has been shot chronologically, because in the first episode, as you said, Spike seemed a little bit how to say it, melancholically, but
closer to his anime counterpart.
Yeah, but he didn't have that brash energy to it. But as soon as the episodes they were going, we were seeing a little bit tinges of Spike that resembles the anime counterpart, and maybe because they shot it chronologically.
The more it went on, and less and less we got of that, I think.
Yeah, and as if like the actors started to know their characters, and they started to create their own characters in the sense that
it became its own thing as it went on. If only they
marketed it this way.
Yeah.
It's like this project will not be direct adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, and this will just take the familiar characters to us, familiar references, situations, and create something unique that fans alike and newcomers could watch. Because as with a lot of sense, the adaptations will not replace the originals. It's that way. Like the Netflix one has 10 episodes. It has been released like 2-3 days ago. it is not replacing the original for me, because as soon as I finish this one, I could easily go and watch my one of favorite
Yeah, but
animes.
I don't want to like downgrade what the showrunners created here.
Yeah,
But
uh-huh.
if I were to like compare the anime and the TV show that Netflix has put out, I would say that the anime is like a steak and wine dinner, and the show is more of a snack, a hot dog and a soda.
But you're hungry.
But sometimes you're just hungry
But
and you
you're
just
hungry.
want to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that we got more like Cowboy Bebop media, but
yes.
still, it would have been. It's not as bad as it can
No,
be.
no. It's
Yeah.
not as bad as a lot of people say it is.
Still, the worst adaptation ever
Death
is
Note.
Avatar.
No,
No,
Death
on Netflix
It's Death Note, but overall,
Yeah, over total
adaptation
it's
is The Last Airbender. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also one thing that was lost was again due to the casting choices, was the dynamic of Jet being the uncle of
The
the
uncle of
group,
the group,
with
yeah,
the
like-
other people always getting in trouble and him bailing them out.
Mhm.
Here he's tagging along with them on their adventures. Let's say.
But let me say this: I think the chemistry was pretty
I
organic.
mean, with what they created, like with
what they had as a material in their
yeah,
hands.
the chemistry between the cast was like pretty organic.
Yeah,
They seemed like they were comfortable with each other.
yeah. I think like one of the biggest saving graces of this TV show is the chemistry between all
Though
three
still,
actors.
again, the dialogue was inconsistent between them. I mean, sometimes they would say things just to break the silence, I believe.
And also, I think you showed me a video that was on Reddit, I guess.
Yeah, everything is criticizing some things as if it's from a sitcom, and
Yes,
I think
Seinfeld
Yeah,
references,
yeah.
like bidet talk.
Yeah. I mean, that is again like a like a bad side of the TV show, because it doesn't know sometimes what it wants to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it is sometimes like surprisingly violent and vulgar, and is dealing with serious themes.
It's much more violent and being like explicit than the anime.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes it tries to become like a comedy show,
With a
because
situation.
with the characters not taking seriously what
is happening
what is
around them.
Yeah.
Like I remember that the scene that I really liked, even though it was out of place. Like Jet is going to recital of his daughter,
with the
hologram thing, and at the back Spike is fighting. It was kind of good scene, but it was out of place.
It doesn't belong in a Cowboy Bebop thing.
Yeah,
Because
talking about
that scene
yeah.
could have contributed to us understanding Jet as more of a like he wants to spend more time with his family, and I just thought that something would be interrupted there. No, he sat through the whole recital, and it was nice and pretty sweet.
And
yeah, I mean,
as you said, like Jet was a father figure for this group, and actually he was a father here. They added this change.
yeah, a new plot like point was added where he had a daughter and a wife.
Talking about the fight scenes that the Spike did, what you thought about the fights that have been shown?
I
to
mean,
us?
they ranged from good to like not great to okay-ish, because I believe in hopes of making the fight scenes more like
understandable,
comprehensible. They were choreographed slower than usual. They had this sense of I don't know. There was no urgency in the fight scenes.
there wasn't fast paced. Obviously, they looked stylistic.
Yeah,
but
because they incorporated their
angles, good editing. Like it wasn't. How to say it? It's not a shaky cam stuff. It wasn't edited very fast.
You can clearly see what is going on
but
the
it
screen.
seemed a little bit slower.
Yeah, it seems slower.
So talking about the guys that Spike fights, What did you thought about how the Syndicate was shown here?
I mean, the Syndicate was like a shadowy criminal organization in the original.
Yeah.
And here, the mystery of how it operates.
We're introduced to them like in the first episode, 20th minute.
A mention would have sufficed, but we're actually shown how like they
the
operate.
Insights of their work. We had elders that are
the big like heads
Illuminati
of the
style people who are looking
with
after
masks.
Yeah. But I don't know, like by introducing Syndicate so fast and making them the villains, it kind of undermines their shadowy organization feel that the original was going for.
I mean, most of the subtlety from the anime was lost. The TV show was very explicit in telling its plot points. It was very on the face.
Well, for example, in the first episode again, from the Asimov bounty hunter, the woman who was not pregnant, obviously she had the drugs on her belly. This TV show, I think, probably said that 4 times that she was pregnant. In the anime, we just
it was just it was left to
to our own interpretation. But in this case, the TV show tried to catch up with the main audience that it was trying to capture, which is its target audience, mass audience, not the people who watch the anime too.
I mean, this again, in hopes of appealing to a wider audience, they made like very drastic changes to the plot of the original in terms of what our like crew of the Bebop actually does. Because there are some episodes where we are tackling 3 or more bounties in one, whereas in the anime we would go like
villain of the week, bounty of the week,
bounty of the week, and some episodes we don't have bounties like at all.
Yeah, we have like kind of a newly created backstories for our characters.
And instead of tackling bounties in those episodes, we would tackle the newly created Julia and Vicious plot, which I am not a fan of.
From what I got, no one is fan of, even the people who are firstly introduced to Cowboy Bebop. Like shortly.
I mean, the casting of Vicious even is wildly different from what
we were thinking. Like, for example, just to shortly summarize what Vicious and Julia were in the original, they were happening. Their screen time wasn't on the face. They had the smallest screen time out of all the characters. Their story was happening outside of the plot, and
as Spike himself was deliberately avoiding his
to talk about that too.
So was the anime deliberate in showing the scenes of like Julia and Vicious. Here, we are just we're following their basically family drama at the home.
And it is like. It is not like a small tidbits. We are
literally cutting back after every scene to their story. It would have sufficed to have like 3 flashbacks where we're introduced to them, we see what they're doing, and the conclusion.
Their connections to Spike, and the conclusion to their story. But here, this was as you said, the most drastic change out of the original. Even though like giving backstory to Spike, giving a daughter and an ex-wife to Jet, and maybe a little bit sprinkling different details to Faye Valentine's story, it was an okay change. But this change, it doesn't work in the sense that as an adaptation that it was marketed, and it tries to work it out as something if they were creating as an original piece. And actually the TV show, the season 1, they call it season 1 because we watched the after show that they shot for the Netflix,
and they keep mentioning season 1 as if there will be a season 2.
So
I mean, all hope is not lost. This isn't like they're not in a place where they can't return from. Improvements could be made if they are going for a season,
because it ended on a cliffhanger. So like, what kind of improvements do you think could be done?
I mean, they should stick to one side. They should decide whether they want to be an adaptation or something original.
Okay.
The way they're going right now,
it seems like they're gonna go original.
Yeah, hopefully, because
with a little bit references to the original anime, maybe.
But again, I'm very curious where they're gonna go from it, because it's they at the last episodes they were going like very similar to the fifth episode, I believe.
Yes.
Of the anime, but they like went in a completely less direction the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the church scene was going kind of shot by shot, Allah taking out Jet's daughter and her kidnapping. Then after they kind of set it up for something different.
After the final confrontation
after
between Vicious and
Spike,
it just swerves in a completely different direction. I'm curious to see what's there, but I don't know, I'm skeptical.
What do you think about Ed's introduction at the last minute?
I mean, the actress like pulled off the look of Ed because it's an iconic look from like the anime, but I don't know. Again,
we'll see. Because we only had like 10-15 seconds.
Even less than that.
Yeah, and she mentions a name that belongs to a villain from the movie of the Cowboy Bebop, like a feature-length anime film that happens between last episodes. So, do you think that they will try to incorporate that?
Will he be like a
main villain
of
season
two? I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see. But overall,
I would like to see more like them bounty hunting.
Yeah, that was the most fun part of this TV show.
Yeah.
Like they, how to say it? As we said, they tried to capture that their family dynamics in a sense, and it is interesting part because the strongest part of this TV show was the cast. And they did everything well with the material that they had.
Hopefully the writing's quality
yes
would get better in season 2 because it needs a lot of improvement.
Yeah, it needs a lot of improvement, like not to be inconsistent. Not just writing, like they should rewatch probably the TV show that they did and just to see that some of the elements work really well, some of the elements should be taken out.
I think I'm gonna counter that point because I don't want them to draw even more inspiration from the like an anime. I want them to go their own road. I want to see where they're going with the characters they have created.
So you're interested in something new that will happen.
Yeah.
So what do you think? This season, will it introduce people to Cowboy Bebop? Obviously, some people will watch it and go rewatch the anime.
Hopefully, but
will it create new fans?
Yeah, I'm worried that people are gonna watch this and not gonna like it, and they would forever shun the name of Cowboy Bebop and won't watch the anime.
So for the newcomers too.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will get the traction that the original Cowboy Bebop deserves.
But if you have the time, go watch the anime because it's really good. It's like a cult anime.
Yeah, it's a cult anime. It's one of the popular animes. Like usually whenever people ask you.
It's a 26
episodes and one feature-length anime again. Like this anime is one of those anime that whenever people ask, what anime should I watch? I haven't watched it. Usually this one of the recommendations.
It may be pretty old, but it's still talked about to this day.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to our discussion. Hopefully see you next time.